Yo, what's going on? Your boy Bowie is here. Oh Lord, you can see the shaders loading. But yeah, your boy Bowie's here. Uh, this is an unconventional video. Normally, I barely even show me playing this damn game, but I wanted to play this game because I wanted to give y'all something to look at as I make my thoughts known about the current happenings in this country. There has been some monumental news that has occurred as of technically the news broke on May 3rd, 2022, and of course it's the 4th. But apparently a document which was a first draft from the Supreme Court coming from Justice Alito basically indicates that the Supreme Court is ready to overturn the monumental Roe versus Wade case, which would effectively leave it to the states to decide whether women will have access to legal abortions. This is monumental. This is a very strange point in American history because, in 2020, the first female vice president ever was elected to the White House in Kamala Harris. And she's black. This year, 2022, the first black female Supreme Court justice was confirmed. And I don't want to butcher her name, and I'm not trying to go off of memory, so I don't want to, misstate her name, but she was confirmed to serve on the Supreme Court. Another black woman who, from every account I can see, is not only a good choice, but she might even be overqualified if there is such a thing. Apparently, there is a such thing as being overqualified for the Supreme Court because this decision to potentially overturn Roe versus Wade is nothing short of absolutely disastrous. There's no nice, kind way to put it. It's nothing short of disastrous. Absolutely cataclysmic. It's a catastrophic step backwards for women's reproductive rights in this country. And it's an indicator of the very slippery slope that we lie on as Americans. And that slippery slope is whether everyone's rights are guaranteed to be supported and protected, once they become codified into law, or once they become law. So as it stands right now, abortion is legal in all 50 states, but there are an array of circumstances upon which a woman can't have an abortion. Obviously they vary from state to state. Late-term abortions are almost completely illegal, except under specific circumstances. When a woman is considering getting an abortion, She has to visit the clinic in most states twice, one for the actual procedure, but before she can actually do the procedure, she has to undergo mandatory counseling in order to try to talk her out of it, which that in and of itself is insulting as hell. As if a woman can't come to a rational decision on her own without requiring permission from a stranger. But it's already limited. You can't just decide willy-nilly, oh, I want to abort a baby whenever. You know, a woman can't carry a baby for 8 months, a perfectly healthy baby, and then decide at the tail end, I don't want it anymore. Abortion. That's not how it works. And the majority of people that support abortion don't even advocate for anything like that. Because then there actually would be some merit to the abortion is murder argument. The vast majority of abortions occur very early on, within the first few months after conception or during conception, but not even first few months, like within the first 8 to 12 weeks from what I'm remembering here. But point is, the vast majority of abortions are very, very early, before the fetus has had a chance to develop into a human. Because at that point, it is a fetus. It's not even a human yet. You can't physically tell a human fetus from an elephant fetus from any other kind of fetus. They're all very similar at that stage. They will develop into a baby if everything goes as planned, but you're not going to be able to look and tell that, hey, this is a human fetus and it should be, mandated by law that it'd be allowed to develop into a human being in a woman's body. But this ruling is disastrous for several reasons. One reason it's disastrous is it's not actually going to stop abortions. We know, not only from past history, but also current day, that when something is banned in America, one of several things happens. A, when the thing becomes banned, it doesn't stop people from doing it. It pushes the people that engage in the banned thing to go underground. And there is a black market often created to supply the need for said thing. And then that black market is then subsequently ran by some upstart criminal organization, whether that's the mafia, cartels, you name it. When we had prohibition, it led to the rise of individuals like Al Capone and all that kind of stuff. Under this current day war on drugs, we have El Chapo and other cartel leaders that we probably are not aware of. These organizations wouldn't exist if the banned substance that they are in the black market of, were legal, taxed, and regulated. It just wouldn't be a thing. But it is a thing, because you're not about to tell grown people what the hell they can and cannot do, especially if they're not harming anybody but themselves. So that's one of the things that happens. That's one of the reasons why this abortion ban is bad, because it doesn't actually prevent abortions. Lord. So not only will there still be abortions, another reason why this abortion ban is bad is abortions will still be legal exactly the way that they are in a myriad of states. So what the Supreme Court deciding to overturn Roe versus Wade is not going to outright make abortion illegal, but what it's going to do is it's going to leave it to state governments to make a decision on it. And so what's going to wind up happening is virtually all of the southern states and a good chunk of other states led by Republican legislatures, they're going to decide that, hey, we're banning abortion, or we're going to ban abortion or limit abortion in some kind of egregious way, you know. And 13 or so states are going to just straight up ban it outright, period, in all instances, it seems, as soon as this ruling takes effect. But you're going to have states that make it legal or that allow it to be done, and states that don't allow it. And so you're going to have this great division, just like you had with gay marriage and slavery and other things like that. And we know what happened when our nation was divided over a controversial issue such as slavery. You know, we know where that led. Not to say that the same thing will happen with abortion, but I'm saying these controversial issues can lead to armed conflict. And it's best if the ruling on this controversial issue was nationwide. Well, I guess that doesn't, that sort of suits the right-wingers well, because from what I've been hearing, they're pursuing a national ban. Not necessarily today, but, presuming that they assume power in 2024. That's what I hear is the plan. And that's going to be even worse. Hi, babe. I'm just recording this video. But, so you're going to have division, mass division in this country concerning abortion. So the third reason why this rollback of rights is really, really bad is it leads to a very slippery slope of other rights coming under challenge, because one of the portions of the leaked draft, it was very scathing in its description of Roe versus Wade, and saying that it was basically wrong from the get-go. And women have not had a long-standing tradition of having this right to an abortion. And so, for those reasons, it should be overturned. But in that decision, 2 other court cases were specifically named. One concerning gay marriage, and I'm trying to remember the other one. It was gay marriage, and then I can't recall right now. There's a lot on your boy's mind and all that. But this means that other, rights could be on the chopping block by this highly conservative Supreme Court in the future. rights that, people have come to hold very nearly and dearly, rights that we always thought would not only stick around but eventually be expanded. Things that we've possibly even taken for granted. Now you're talking about things like that potentially going away. Because let's understand something. Roe versus Wade was the precedent for 50 some odd years. Basically, my entire lifetime, abortion has been illegal, or been legal in all 50 states. And it was 20 years before I was born. It was that way. Almost 20, anyway. But now suddenly, it's going to become effectively illegal in half of the country. And so, if a conservative Supreme Court could successfully get rid of this, what's to stop them from going after black voting rights? What's to stop them from going after gay and trans rights? What's to stop them from going after quote unquote illegal, which also means legal, immigrants in this country? Specifically the ones that, have some melanin in their skin. All of those things are in jeopardy. And it might seem hyperbolic. Oh Lord. It might seem hyperbolic to presume this, but they've already indicated that they could be going in this direction. And conservative lawmakers have already been creating legislation locally in throughout the states that takes aim at critical race theory, which is not a thing, and also taking aim at gay and trans rights. They've already made a bunch of laws trying to ban trans athletes, made a bunch of laws trying to snuff LGBTQ topics out of schools. They've even done legislation that alters the way we teach history and makes it more propaganda-esque, and that could be the law of the land if the Supreme Court has its way. And this ruling could get that ball rolling. And it's nothing but scary. So, now of course, I don't have a uterus. So, it's like, you might be thinking, why am I talking about this? This doesn't affect me. Not necessarily. Not directly, anyway. But, oh Lord. There are important women in my life who will definitely be affected by this ruling. And, this is not a one-size-fits-all kind of policy. When, regardless of someone's position on abortion, there are a myriad of reasons why a woman would choose to, undergo a procedure like that. Some of which have to do with literally preserving the life of the woman, and making such a thing illegal would sentence some women to death. And That's quite ironic considering that the people that champion this kind of legislation call themselves pro-life. And then another note to add in the, abortion wouldn't end with this ruling section of the video. Women would still get abortions. They just would do it in an unsafe way. They'd be using coat hangers and dangerous at-home kits purchased over the internet. They might go to some shady abortion dealers or whatever the hell you want to call them. I don't know. Or go to some unscrupulous clinics that perform these procedures. But they might do it in a, exorbitant fashion and charge women crazy fees and stuff like that because they know it's illegal. It's going to be pushed underground. And it could even it could be ran by a criminal organization. Just like some of the other illicit things I described earlier. So, point is, they're going to risk the lives of these women and girls in order to, quote-unquote, save lives. But the reality is, this isn't necessarily even about saving lives. That's just the propaganda that, Republican audiences are told and are led to believe. No. The reason why this is being pushed by the conservative elites is not because they actually give a damn about, when life is formed after pregnancy. And it's certainly not because they care about women or children. They care about their wallet. See, it's no secret that, due to abortions being legalized and contraceptives being, widespread and easy to access, that teenage pregnancy and unwanted pregnancy has dramatically plummeted over time. So much so that the white birth rate is actually lower than the death rate. In other words, the white population is shrinking. Meanwhile, the population of Spanish-speaking people is pretty much growing. I'm not sure about the population of black people. It seems pretty steady, but it's certainly not declining. And the billionaire capitalists that run the Republican and Democratic parties, they correctly reason that if these women ain't having no babies, they're not going to have sources of labor to exploit in the foreseeable future. And so legislation like this is a way for them to protect their investment in human capital. And again, I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that. That's their line of reasoning. People have even written about this. Of course, they approach it from a more racialized perspective of being afraid that the Negras are going to take over. But that's basically what's going on here. Scary. So, all in all, this is a very, very bad moment. Now, though this is not written in stone, this leaked document is only a draft of what the Supreme Court might rule on. And the Supreme Court can still decide, hey, we're actually going to reverse our decision on this. But it's unlikely to happen. A. And B, these conservatives have made it a priority for the past 50 some odd years to get rid of abortion. So now that they're on the brink of doing so, it's unlikely that they're gonna get cold feet and pull out, you know. However, there is a silver lining in this. We ain't got to take this. Social media has been lit up over this. There's already been protests outside the Supreme Court over this, even though it's just a draft. And I mean, I even saw a video from Trevor Noah on his show, where he talked about how disastrous this was. So the American public is not happy about this potential ruling, and it's probably not going to fly, not for too long. It's going to be consequential, basically. And so it should be consequential, and people should make their voices known, and they need to make their voices known with their votes. You know, we got to make it known with our votes. We got to make it known with our words, with our phone calls, as we pressure our politicians and lawmakers. We need to let these suckers know, hey, we don't support this. You're not going to do this to us and think that everything's going to be all great, because it's not. You know what I'm saying? But we got to be wary of this, you guys. And even as men, the reality is we don't have much of a say in this, because our bodies are not being legislated here. Even a dead man has more bodily autonomy than a woman does in this country. I'm not being facetious, I'm being quite literal. A man that does not declare himself an organ donor cannot be compelled to share his organs, his fresh organs, after his demise. So if you die and you do not check the little box that says organ donor, they can't cut your body open, take your lungs, kidneys, or anything like that and donate it to anybody, because you didn't give the government permission to do so. You have a right to all your organs and your whole body completely intact, even after you die, as a man. And you cannot be compelled to share any of those organs with anybody, regardless of how much they need them, how much they could save lives, or whatever. It just don't matter. You can't be compelled to share your organs as a man in any circumstance. Yet women can be compelled to share their bodies, or share their bodies, share their organs, share their food, waste, and all that, and even their bladders, with a fetus that they may not have even wanted. A fetus that they can't even take care of. A fetus that was, only created because of a grown man's lust after a little girl. Or a grown man's lust after a woman that did not consent to have sex with him. You see? So even under the most dubious circumstances, a woman can be forced to share her organs with another person, or even something that hasn't even developed into a person yet, just because she's a woman. Fellas, if you can't see how inherently unfair and how foul that is, I don't know how else to put it to you. I really don't. You're just a monstrous human being, to be honest with you, if you can't see how that scale is highly unbalanced. You know? But this abortion thing, this is not about saving children's lives. This is not about a principled stance of being pro-life, because most of the people that make these judgments, they don't give a damn about human life. They don't. Especially if that human is from a Muslim country, if that human is a black criminal or a black person, period, or if that human disagrees with them politically, they don't care about human life. And so this abortion thing is not about human life. It's not about children either. This is about money. This is about power and control. And if you don't like other people having power and control over you, and you don't want them making money off of you unfairly, then you need to extend that same kind of courtesy to women and everybody else. Otherwise, you just trash. And you have forfeited the right to even call yourself human, because you're not a human no more. You's a damn lizard, to be honest. You are amphibious. And that's an insult to amphibians, because I'm sure there's some salamanders and newts out there with much more accountability and much more what's the word I'm looking for? Empathy than you have. You understand? But that's what I have to say about this. The Supreme Court has messed up bad, man. So, peace.